This show is part of OnePlace, a daily network of focused briefings across the stories people follow most.
Welcome to the show. We have a packed sports lineup today. From historic hockey wins in Utah to the latest drama unfolding on the NFL draft floor and the NBA playoff hardwood.
The Utah Mammoth secure their first home playoff victory.
Top prospects remain available for the NFL draft's final day.
The Cowboys and Ravens are heading to Rio de Janeiro.
A new documentary explores the history of charging the mound.
The Eagles accidentally ruined the Steelers' first-round draft plans.
Caitlin Clark makes her highly anticipated WNBA preseason debut.
Kirby Dach finds redemption in a Canadiens' overtime win.
Jason Tatum leads the Celtics to a series lead.
Starting in Salt Lake City, the Utah Mammoth have officially made history, winning the first-ever NHL playoff game held in the state of Utah. They defeated the Vegas Golden Knights 4-2 on Friday night, taking a 2-1 lead in their best-of-7 series. Lawson Krause was the hero of the night, scoring 2 goals in a span of less than 6 minutes during the second period. What makes this win even more impressive is how efficient the Mammoth were. They managed to score 4 times in the first 30 minutes while only recording 8 shots on goal during that entire stretch. It was a classic case of quality over quantity, as Captain Clayton Keller noted after the game. Keller himself had a great night, recording 2 assists for the first multi-point playoff game of his career. The atmosphere in Salt Lake City was electric as the team continues its second season since relocating from Arizona.
Vegas certainly didn't make it easy, outshooting Utah significantly throughout the game. Karol Vejmelka was a wall in the net for the Mammoth, making 29 saves to preserve the lead. The Golden Knights struggled on the power play, going 0 for 4, while Utah capitalized on their only man advantage opportunity. Vegas coach John Tortorella stuck with goalie Carter Hart despite him giving up 4 goals by the midway point of the second period, citing Hart's mental toughness and his desire to work through the struggle. Jack Eichel and Nick Dowd managed to get Vegas on the board late, but it wasn't enough to overcome the early flurry from Utah. With Game 4 scheduled for Monday night back in Salt Lake City, the Mammoth have a golden opportunity to put the defending champs on the ropes. It is clear that the hockey culture in Utah is growing rapidly with this postseason success.
Moving to the NFL Draft. As we head into Day 3 of the 2026 NFL Draft, the focus shifts to the hidden gems and the players who have unexpectedly slipped through the cracks. While the first 3 rounds are in the books, 4 more rounds remain, and this is where scouting departments really earn their keep. One of the most surprising names still on the board is cornerback Jermode McCoy. He entered the draft with top 10 talent, but medical concerns regarding his knee have clearly scared teams away. Reports of a potential second surgery to address a bone plug following his initial ACL repair have caused a significant slide. However, for a team willing to take a risk in the 4th round, McCoy represents incredible value. He is the kind of high-ceiling prospect that can change the trajectory of a secondary if his health holds up. It will be fascinating to see which team finally pulls the trigger.
Another big surprise is that LSU quarterback Garrett Nussmeier is still available. After seeing Carson Beck and Drew Aller get picked on Friday night, many expected Nussmeier to follow shortly after. His availability at the start of the 4th round creates an interesting dynamic for teams still looking for a developmental signal caller. We are also keeping a close eye on Keontae Scott, the slot cornerback from Miami. He is a disruptive force who primarily played inside for the Hurricanes, but has the physical tools to move outside if needed. Scouts love his versatility and aggressive play style. Saturday is always a long day for these prospects, with over 150 picks still to be made. But it is also the day where many NFL dreams are finally realized. The teams that have done their homework on these late-round grinders often find the contributors that help them win championships. Down the road.
Now to international news. The NFL is continuing its aggressive global expansion, and the latest milestone is a historic matchup in Rio de Janeiro. The league announced that the Baltimore Ravens will face off against the Dallas Cowboys at the iconic Maracanã Stadium on September 27th. This marks the first time an NFL regular season game will be played in Rio, following previous successful ventures in Sao Paulo. Ravens owner Steve Bisciotti expressed his excitement, noting the passionate fan base in South America and the honor of playing in such a legendary venue. The game will be broadcast on CBS and Paramount Plus in a late afternoon slot, ensuring a massive audience both in the U.S. and abroad. This game is part of a broader, multi-year commitment by the NFL to bring at least 3 regular season games to Rio over the next 5 years, signaling that Brazil is becoming a primary hub for the league's international growth strategy.
This Rio matchup is just one piece of a record-breaking international schedule for the 2026 season. The NFL is planning 9 international contests across 4 continents, and 7 different countries. Fans can look forward to 3 games in London and 1 each in Madrid, Melbourne, Mexico City, Munich, and Paris. Jerry Jones, the owner of the Cowboys, highlighted how special it will be to play in Maracana Stadium, a place steeped in sports history. The league is clearly leaning into the global stage, and the variety of locations shows just how far the reach of American football has extended. From the cricket ground in Melbourne to the Stade de France in Paris, the 2026 season is going to be a truly global affair. For the Ravens and Cowboys, this trip to Brazil represents a unique challenge and a chance to connect with a whole new segment of the Ravens flock and Cowboys nation.
Next, a baseball documentary. If you are a fan of baseball's more chaotic moments, you will want to check out a new documentary series titled The History of Charging the Mound. Created by a filmmaker named John, the series dives deep into the strange, funny, and sometimes violent history of hitters taking exception to inside pitches. The first episode has just launched, and John explains that this is an ongoing project with no set end date. He believes the subject matter is so rich with stories that he could potentially produce 100 episodes. What makes this project unique is the level of transparency involved. John is sharing his primary research document with the public, a massive Google spreadsheet that catalogs every single mound charging incident he has found between 1950 and 2026. It is a treasure trove for baseball historians and casual fans alike, featuring links to video evidence and personal notes on each specific confrontation.
The series aims to offer a peek under the hood of the production process, allowing viewers to scrutinize the data and even contribute their own findings. By making the research document public, John is inviting the community to engage with the history of the game in a very direct way. Charging the mound is one of those rare occurrences in sports that immediately captures everyone's attention, and understanding the evolution of these conflicts provides a fascinating look at the changing unwritten rules of baseball. Whether it is a legendary brawl from the 70s or a modern-day standoff, the series promises to cover it all. It is a passion project that celebrates the quirks of the sport, and John's commitment to keeping it going until either he or the audience gets bored suggests we have a lot of entertaining content ahead. It is definitely a must-watch for anyone who loves the drama that happens between the lines.
Back to draft drama. The first round of the NFL draft usually has its fair share of surprises, but the Pittsburgh Steelers experienced a truly soul-crushing moment thanks to their in-state rivals, the Philadelphia Eagles. Steelers GM Omar Khan was actually on the phone with USC wide receiver Mekhi Lemon, informing him that he was about to be the 21st overall pick. In the middle of that life-changing conversation, Lemon asked Khan, "Why is Philly calling?" It turns out the Steelers had jumped the gun, assuming the Cowboys wouldn't trade their pick to a division rival like the Eagles. But Dallas did exactly that, allowing Philadelphia to leapfrog Pittsburgh and snatch Lemon right out from under them. The atmosphere in the Steelers' war room reportedly went from celebratory to devastated in an instant. It was a masterclass in draft day maneuvering by the Eagles, who managed to secure a top-tier pass catcher while simultaneously sticking it to their neighbors across the state.
This move by the Eagles was a massive relief for their front office, as they were facing a potential crisis at wide receiver. By landing Lemon to pair with Devonta Smith, they solidified their offense and avoided having to make a desperate reach or trade away A.J. Brown. Meanwhile, the Steelers had to pivot quickly, eventually selecting offensive tackle Max Ihanakor. While Ihanakor is a solid prospect, many analysts consider him a reach at that spot and more of an insurance policy for Broderick Jones than a game-changing starter. The sting of losing Lemon, who was considered a steal at 21, will likely haunt the Steelers for a long time. It is rare to see a draft day blunder play out so publicly and painfully. Only time will tell if Ihanakor develops into a star. But for now, the Eagles clearly won this round of the Pennsylvania rivalry. It is a reminder that in the NFL draft, nothing is certain until the card is turned in.
Shifting to the WNBA. The WNBA preseason is kicking off with a massive spotlight on Brooklyn as the New York Liberty host the Indiana Fever. This game is a true battle of big threes, featuring Indiana's Caitlin Clark, Kelsey Mitchell, and Aliyah Boston against New York's Breanna Stewart, Sabrina Ionescu, and Jonquel Jones. While it is only the preseason, the anticipation is sky high, particularly for Clark's return to the court. After an injury-plagued 2025 season where she only appeared in 13 games, Clark is focused on her health and a slightly different role. The Fever planned to have her run the point less often this year, utilizing Mitchell and rookie Raven Johnson to handle more of the ball-carrying duties. This strategy is designed to reduce the physical wear and tear on Clark, allowing her to be more effective as a scorer and playmaker throughout the long season. Fans are eager to see how this new dynamic looks in live action.
On the other side, Brianna Stewart comes into the preseason in midseason form. She recently led Fenerbahce to a EuroLeague title and won an unrivaled championship, so she likely needs very little time to adjust. The game will be broadcast on ION, which is significantly increasing its WNBA coverage this year, with 50 regular season games on the schedule. For fans who can't make it to Barclays Center, the game is also available for free on WNBA League Pass with registration. This matchup is more than just a warm-up. It is a statement for the league as it continues to see record-breaking interest. Seeing Clark and Ionescu share the court is a dream for basketball purists, and the tactical shifts in Indiana's backcourt will be a major storyline to follow. Tip-off is set for 3 p.m. Eastern, and it marks the official beginning of what many expect to be the most-watched season in the history of the WNBA.
Back to the ice. Kirby Dach's week has been a complete emotional roller coaster, culminating in a heroic performance for the Montreal Canadiens. Just a few days ago, Dach was the target of intense online criticism after a defensive lapse and an ill-timed icing led to an overtime loss in Game 2 against the Tampa Bay Lightning. The backlash was so severe that the 25-year-old center actually deleted his Instagram account to escape the vitriol. However, coach Martin St. Louis refused to bench him, stating that he would never give up on a player who hasn't given up on himself. That faith paid off in Game 3, as Dach recorded a goal and an assist in a 3-2 overtime victory. The Bell Center crowd, known for being demanding, completely embraced him, chanting his name throughout the night. It was a powerful moment of redemption for a player who had been under immense pressure just 72 hours prior.
Dach's impact was felt early when he assisted on Alexander Texier's opening goal. He then scored a crucial second-period goal that deflected off a Lightning defenseman to tie the game. His line, which included Texier and Zachary Bolduc, was incredibly productive, being on the ice for all 3 of Montreal's goals. This was particularly impressive considering it was the first time that specific trio had played together all season. The game eventually went to overtime, where Lane Hutson secured the win just over 2 minutes in, giving the Canadiens a 2-1 series lead. Dach admitted after the game that the fan support meant a lot to him, especially after such a difficult few days. It is a testament to his resilience and the culture St. Louis is building in Montreal. The Canadiens now have the momentum as they look to pull off an upset against a very talented Tampa Bay squad in the coming games.
Finally, the NBA playoffs. Jason Tatum is proving that he is back to his elite self, leading the Boston Celtics to a 108-100 victory over the Philadelphia 76ers. Tatum put up 25 points, including 5 crucial three-pointers, as the Celtics took a 2-1 lead in their Eastern Conference first-round series. This is only Tatum's 19th game of the season following major Achilles surgery last May, and his performance suggests he is regaining his top form just when the team needs him most. Jaylen Brown also contributed 25 points, including a personal 8-point run late in the fourth quarter that gave Boston the breathing room they needed. The Sixers were playing without star center Joel Embiid, who is still recovering from an appendectomy. Despite a valiant 31-point effort from Tyrese Maxey, Philadelphia couldn't keep pace with Boston's perimeter shooting. Tatum's final three-pointer was the dagger that sealed the win and sent the Philly crowd toward the exits early.
Elsewhere in the NBA, the Lakers took a commanding 3-0 lead over the Rockets with a 112-108 overtime win. LeBron James was spectacular, scoring 29 points and hitting a game-tying 3 with 13 seconds left in regulation to force the extra period. The Lakers rallied from a 6-point deficit in the final 30 seconds, showing incredible poise under pressure. Meanwhile, the San Antonio Spurs managed to beat the Trail Blazers 120-108 despite the absence of Victor Wembanyama, who was out with a concussion. Stephon Castle stepped up in a big way for the Spurs, scoring 33 points to help them take a 2-1 series lead. It was a night of resilient performances across the league, with teams overcoming injuries and hostile environments to secure pivotal wins. As the first round continues, the intensity is only ramping up, and these series leads will be vital as teams look to advance toward the championship.
That wraps up our sports roundup for today. Thanks for joining us for these updates. We will be back tomorrow with more of the stories you follow most. Have a great day.